Hi friends, welcome back. Last week we kicked off our December series, Savoring the Seasons. Really, it was just a journey to slow down and find joy, be intentional before we kickstart the new year. This week we have not one, but 2 episodes dropping, so make sure you tune back in Friday afternoon as I talk all about stocking and creating your winter apothecary. But today's video is all about intentional gift giving, which happens to be one of my favorite topics because my love language is gift giving, so I cannot wait to dive into this video with you all. For as long as I can remember, it has never been about the fanciest or the most expensive things. It's been about those sentimental and intentional gifts that make people feel seen and loved. You know what I mean? The ones that feel like the giver truly thought about you and your life. Ask themselves what might bring you joy or comfort in this season. It's really kind of special. But if you're anything like me, you can always tell when a gift was rushed, a last-minute grab in the holiday frenzies. And while those gifts might check a box, they certainly don't create a feeling. And for me, it's never been about the gift itself, but the thought behind it. You know, I think this really stems back to my roots. Growing up, we were a very frugal family, so we never really had the means to buy or gift those extravagant gifts. And for the better part of mine and Nathan's marriage, I didn't have really any extra money for these large extravagant gifts. And maybe those people that I wanted to gift to, but it wasn't quite in the budget. And really what that taught me through the years is that it's not about what money can buy. It's about what thought and intention did I put behind it. And what I realized is, although I might have not had that extra $20, $40, $50 to go spend on a gift, I had all the time and the heart and the intention it took to create something meaningful, right? Something that you can't put a price tag on. And that really taught me so much. Obviously, I still carry it with me to this day. But with that, I started making my gifts. I started spending hours in the kitchen baking. I remember every year I would make honey bread and honey butter, and I would give that gift. It was before I knew about sourdough, so it was totally a yeast-based recipe, but so cool that I knew I could share my love and my heart for people in the kitchen. So whether it was a handmade candle, a jar of elderberry syrup, or even a handwritten note, I knew that the gifts that I gave during the holiday season or for any occasion, I wanted them to really leave a lasting impact on the person receiving the gift. And what I think I've learned through the years is that that applies to so many things, right? For me, when I bake sourdough for my family, there's so much love and intention that goes into that. When I cook from scratch meals, when I welcome someone into my home, it's about creating a feeling for someone. I want them to feel loved by the food I put on the table in front of them. I want them to feel special when I wrote them that handwritten note geared to something that was specific to them, right? It's not generic. It's not, I think that society and culture has told us that we live in this fast hustle. You have to spend, do, that we've lost the simple arts of writing a letter, telling someone that you're actually thinking about them. For me, you can buy me a card, and yes, I appreciate that, but if you just took a blank piece of paper and you were thoughtful, you took 5 minutes to write me a note, that is going to have such a lasting impact. And so I encourage you all today, when there's the frenzy of the holiday season, there's the hustle and bustle of managing kids and life and working and laundry, and the list goes on and on. I just encourage you to ask yourself, how am I going to create intention this holiday season? Here's the thing I've learned about intentional gift giving. You really never know what someone is going through. And sometimes the smallest, simplest gifts can mean the most. Maybe it's a handwritten note paired with a DIY bath salt for a postpartum mom who hasn't had a moment to herself in weeks. Or maybe it's an organic dinner basket for newlyweds who dream of cooking wholesome meals but can't quite afford that extra expense. Or maybe it's just baking a batch of holiday cookies using the exact recipe your grandparents taught you. Gifting not just a treat, but really a memory. These are the gifts that go beyond the objects. They create a feeling, a connection, and that to me is what the holiday season is all about. Now that my kids are getting older, I've been trying to teach them the same lesson. Money does not equal happiness. You can't buy a memory, you can't buy a feeling, and you certainly cannot buy a connection. Those are created with intention. And I want them to grow up knowing that the most meaningful things in life often don't come with a price tag. I like to think about the person I'm gifting, right? If it's a mom, I think about how do I give her the gift of relaxation, the gift of self, something we've been chatting about a lot lately. And so that simple DIY bath salt soak with maybe a novel, some sort of book she can read in the bathtub, maybe with an herbal tea blend that is specific for postpartum. That's so simple to craft and means so much to a mom who is lacking self-care and needing a minute. I remember when I received those food baskets of quality, wholesome, organic ingredients when I wasn't in a place where I could afford those. That meant so much to me. Something recently in the last few years I've been doing that's just really special is I grow a lot of flowers here on the farm. And I've been preserving them with the intention to gift them. To gift them something that was lasting from our farm is really special, especially to members of our family, grandparents. It's just super sweet. And so I love making these ornaments that allow them to really reflect on nature, allow them to see the beauty that came from my farm, and I get to share it with them. This is an easy win. You're able to spend time crafting. Later this week, I'm inviting my girls into the kitchen with me, and we are making a ton of these to gift out. While I absolutely love gifting these ornaments with flowers that I grew and dried on our farm, kind of the theme of the season is intentionality. And so when I am thinking through and I'm making or crafting or even sourcing out gifts for friends and loved ones, I think about how can I allow this person to be intentional, to create their own intentional moment. So while I love including these, I also love giving gifts that make someone be intentional. And so I want to share with you guys what that would look like for this case. I have been thrifting baskets for months now from Goodwill, thrift stores, you name it, so that I can give my holiday gifts in them. They can repurpose them and reuse them. So I got this for $1. I also got this little jar that's just super cute. And so what I'm going to do, instead of making a gift, I have a specific friend in mind who is really trying to create those intentional moments with her kids. I thought I would fill this basket with a little spool of ribbon. I will fill this jar with different dried flowers, and I'll put a couple ornaments in here and gift them the opportunity to slow down one night, to create memories, and to make their own ornaments. So let's get this little goodie basket together, but just think outside of the box. I always like to ask myself, what would I like to receive? What would cause me to stop, to pause for a minute, to be intentional? What would create a moment for my family, whether that's in the kitchen, whether that's around the table, whether that's a movie night? And those are the types of gifts that I like to give. When I'm thinking through my intentional gift guide, that is what I'm thinking about, and I cannot encourage you all enough to think about those things too. So now let's make this gift basket up. So I'd like to pause for a second and thank the sponsor for today's video, which is Squisito's Tasting Room. Now, if you've been around here for any bit of time, you know I rave about my high quality olive oils that we use for cooking, we use for sourdough, and everything in between. Well, I am so excited to be able to share one of my dear friend Jennifer's businesses today. And it is perfect because if you're looking for that intentional gift, but you're maybe not super crafty and this really isn't your style, or you don't want to spend hours and hours in the kitchen, but you still want to gift a intentional, thoughtful gift, I have the perfect things to share with you. So first up, you can use my code WWFarm at checkout to get free shipping on your first order. And they have so many sales going on right now and so many gift baskets already. They kind of took the time to be intentional and thinking through what would be a thoughtful holiday gift. So I want to share some of my favorites with you guys today. First up is their popcorn set. They are currently on sale. This is their popcorn, their butter oil, and their truffle salt. You guys, I have given this gift as a hostess gift more times than I can count. It is perfect. It's intentional. It really just causes the family to stop, gather in the kitchen, around the stove, pop popcorn, a lost art in today's world, I feel like, but this makes the perfect intentional gift. You can also buy separate oils and pair together. So one of my favorite oils from them is the garlic oil. We use this in so many of our stir-fry veggies, but it is my go-to actually to bake focaccia with. I found that when you use high quality oil in your focaccias, it just elevates them so much. But if you paired that with the pomegranate balsamic, you can make a DIY homemade dressing. So you could pair the garlic oil with that pomegranate balsamic, even type up or write up a homemade dressing recipe, or it tastes really good on roasted Brussels sprouts. So you could create a little recipe card and be super intentional with the gifts that you're giving this year. If you don't want to buy separate oils and pair them together, they have really taken the guesswork out of it for you. For the holiday season, they have a soup night gift basket, which is really cool. You can do your own recipe card to add a personal touch to it as well. Got the pasta night gift basket, which also has been one of my go-tos. I like to put this together. It's just giving a really thoughtful, intentional meal to someone. They also have their infused olive oil gift set, which is great if you've kind of got that baker or that chef in your life who wants to just try these different oils. And if you're like, whoa, I have no idea where to start, this is kind of overwhelming, you can always get a gift certificate. But because this is an intentional gift guide, you guys know I'm going to encourage you, ask yourself, what would I want to receive? Would I love to make my family a delicious pasta dinner and have all of the ingredients supplied for me to have nutrition, to have flavor, to have intention? Then give that gift. Squisito's has made it so easy to gift intentionally this year. Not only are you gifting intentionally with quality ingredients, you're also supporting my friend Jennifer, which is just really, really special to me. So again, if you want to use my code WWFarm at checkout, that's going to give you free shipping on your first order. You can also find the link in my description. And thank you again, Squisito Tasting Room, for sponsoring today's video. We're making these along with holiday food boxes, which I love. There are going to be some sweet treats. There's going to be sourdough and starter. That's another thing too. Give the gift of health, right? Whether that's an herbal tea blend, whether that's a dehydrated starter with some sort of recipe card. The thoughts are endless, but I guarantee you, if you walked into your kitchen right now, or maybe you even took a glance around your living room and you thought, what is something that I do every day that seems so normal, if you will? What if I gave that gift to someone else? For me, sourdough is such an intricate part of my life that I don't even really think twice about getting up several times a week and baking bread. But for someone who is trying to restore their gut health, who maybe is dealing with some sort of gluten intolerance, who's been desiring to bake from scratch but felt so overwhelmed, or maybe they killed their starter 100 times, because we've all been there. What if by simply dehydrating some of your sourdough starter, writing a simple recipe card, and gifting her a fresh loaf of bread is what catapulted her into her own journey of feeding and nurturing her family? You guys, that's special. That's genuine. That's something that she's going to remember, or he will remember, or that family might remember for years and years to come. So here is my challenge to you all this week. And lucky for you, it's twofold. But one, I want you to think about just one person that you can intentionally give a gift to this holiday season. It could be something that you're baking in the kitchen. It could be something that you're making from scratch. It could even just be an experience or a moment that you are creating with that person. And I just want you guys to remember, it is not about the cost at all. The purpose behind this challenge is the thought behind it. It could have cost you $0 to make. It could be sitting with a friend and just listening. But what is that one thing you can do for that one person in your life where you could bring intention into it, and it could create a lasting effect, a positive moment on their life that they will remember for years to come? And the second part of this week's challenge is I want you to gift yourself something that is intentional this year. There's been a theme, right? Intentionality, self-care, and I mentioned last week that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And at some point, there's going to be lonely moments of your life. There's going to be moments in raising kids. There's going to be moments in just the hustle and bustle of life. And we have got to find those ways to not only be intentional with others, but to also be intentional with ourselves. And for me, the gift of intentionality that I'm giving myself this season is sitting down with my hot cup of tea in the morning and just having that moment where I can recharge. If I can have 5 minutes where I get my mind right and I prepare for the day ahead, it makes the world of difference in the duration of the rest of the day. And so maybe that looks like a cup of coffee or a cup of tea for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning. Maybe that's actually carving out time to have that coffee date with a friend where you can talk to adults, where you can share maybe some of the things you're struggling with, or maybe you can share some of those triumphs in your life. There's nothing better than celebrating with friends and having friends celebrate with you. Maybe you're committing to getting outside in nature once a day and recharging, whether that's you're waking up with the sunrise and taking a quick lap around your house, or maybe as the day is settled and you have a moment to say, hey, I just want to go sit outside for a second. Whatever that looks like for you guys in this season. But the question is to ask yourself, what would feel like a reset to you? What would charge your batteries? What would motivate you to feel inspired to tackle the next day? Whatever that is, fill in that blank. Do that for yourself this holiday season, because trust me, you deserve it. For every mama watching this right now, we are trying to make this season so special for our littles, for our families, for everyone around us. But at some point, we've got to pause and we've got to recharge, that we're doing that with a heart of gratitude. We're doing that out of a heart that is willing and wanting to give. And sometimes when you're just flowing out and you're flowing out and you're flowing out and you're not taking a second to recharge yourself, sometimes those attitudes shift. So that is my challenge to you all this week. One, find that that one person you can be intentional with and give an intentional gift, but find that one thing that is going to charge your batteries and reset your mind, your body, your emotions, whatever it is, and gift that to yourself because you deserve it. Trust me, your family wants you the best version of you can be, and that is something I have found that it's not selfish to prioritize me. In fact, when I prioritize me and my mental state, my physical state, my well-being, I'm the best version for my family that I can be, and they love that. So I hope you will participate in this week's challenge.